Well, with me is Dr. Allinson, and we're just saying there's going to be so many different things to talk to you about. We may have quite a lot of sections here, but obviously the one burning issue is about grading and exams. Now, I've followed it, and we have kind of kept back from it slightly, but it's been an ongoing process, but you've now got a final result. So
well, we have, and actually you've done just the right thing to stay out of it until it's settled, because this has been something that's been developing since March when the pandemic hit. At a very early stage, it became quite obvious that we wouldn't be able to have physical exams across A-levels, GCSEs, and also the BTECs. And so we've been playing catch-up since then. Now, this week, we've managed to get some clarification from the UK. We use UK examining boards so that people on the Isle of Man can be on a level playing field with their counterparts across in terms of further education and jobs. And luckily, we've got a resolution of what has been quite a crisis in the United Kingdom in terms of people getting grades predicted by a computer algorithm rather than those grades predicted by their teachers and schools who know them best.
So it's all coming, because Scotland went first, and
they did.
The mess was revealed. Then the UK, England, appeared to hold out, and it's been a mess.
And then Northern Ireland changed, then Wales changed, and so it's only really been this week that we've got the change right across the United Kingdom. Now, one of the slight differences with the Isle of Man is that we've used a particular board, Cambridge International, who've been very useful in the past, but they are outside the Ofqual regulation, and so there was a little bit of uncertainty, even if the UK changed across the board, whether our exam board would change in suit.
Why are we outside? Is that just the way it's been for years? Or
back in 2014, when Michael Gove at the time was really keen on having an exam full stop and not having any continuous assessment, there was a consultation about which exams we should be following on the Isle of Man. And there were mixed opinions, and there still are mixed opinions, but we went for Cambridge International because they gave at the time quite a bit of flexibility. I think what we need to do now is review the whole situation, let the dust settle, look at the fallout from all this, because there will be in the United Kingdom, and look at the exam boards again and say which is best for the Isle of Man, which suits us better. None of them have covered themselves in glory through any of this, to be honest with you. But what we have got for the first time this week is a bit of certainty for Isle of Man students that they will get the grades that were predicted for them by the schools. Now, this just isn't their teacher and then giving them a box of chocolates and getting an A. This is their teachers looking at their coursework, mock exams, their general progress, then that centre assessment grade going up to the head teacher, who reviews that again and puts them in a ranking with their peers, and then that's gone to the exam board. And so hopefully we can get a much fairer way of judging these young people's progress and actually allowing them to progress to the future that they plan for.
What input with Cambridge International did you have to do then? Did you get, was it hands-on telling them something, or did they in the end just...
Yeah, there was a lack of clarity with them, because they cover quite a few schools in the United Kingdom, but also international schools across the world. And so when we got the results last Tuesday for the GCSEs and then the A-levels, there was obviously a major issue there.
So you already seen them before they went public? You had chance to...
Unfortunately not. And that's one of the annoying things. The head teachers got view of them slightly before the candidates did. But even then, it was a major shock to them. And we're talking about experienced teachers who said, some of them said that last Thursday, when the A-levels came out, was the worst day in their career. I mean, they were in tears themselves with the fallout of this.
So people who got A's were coming in with C's and D's or something?
C's and D's. We had people with U's. Now, normally you get a U if you don't turn up for your exam. These were good candidates. These were people who should have got B's and C's.
And this is an algorithm that's doing it?
It was. And what again, there will be inquiries about this, and that's one of the things I've asked of Cambridge International, is have an independent inquiry about their own algorithm. There will be inquiries in terms of Ofqual. And what they seem to do is, although they asked for all this evidence from teachers, they then didn't trust those teachers. They then put this through an algorithm which based our students' performance on the performance over the last couple of years, independent of the individual progress. And that, I think, has caused the most hurt out of all this. Hopefully now we can move on with this. We can make sure we get these young people the futures that they deserve. But it has been a really bruising time right across the pupils, their families, but also their teachers as well.
The consequences of getting these low grades and losing a slot in the university you wanted, then... I suppose it's happened in England as well. So have they all gone back and offered the places, or those places gone in some cases?
Exactly, Paul. One of the issues we had was quite a lot of people despite all the chaos that's been going on, managed to get enough grades to get into their first choice universities. They did. I'd also like to thank the universities, because some of them were extremely flexible in getting people in who dropped a grade or so, and understood the unprecedented times we've been going through, and did that. But you've also had people who haven't been able to get into their first choice, went through clearing and got a second choice university, which they were happy with. Now they're given the option to go back and see if they want to change. And we've also had a number of people who were really passionate about going into medicine or veterinary science, which have a set number of places. Now, they didn't get the grades to get in there, so they've lost their place. Now they have got the grades to get in, but have those places gone? And there's ongoing work in the United Kingdom now, right across the university sector. The United Kingdom government have lifted a cap they put on the number of places, but you still have institutions like medical schools who can't suddenly increase the number of places, because those young people then go on to placements in hospitals. And so the knock-on effects with this, I think, are going to be quite profound for a small number of people. What we as a department want to do, and right across the education service in terms of teachers want to do, is give as much help, as much encouragement, as much support to these young people as we can.
What is going to be the long-term ramifications of all this when the dust settles? The class of 2020, will it be a gold standard in any way, or will people look back and go, well, no one really knew what they got as a result, because there's so much guesswork had to go into it?
There is. However, the centre assessed grades weren't guesswork. These were the teachers who knew their pupils the best, seeing their progress, using all the evidence available. And some of it was quite profound in terms of coursework, particularly for exams like the BTECs, which are very much vocational. And the University College Isle of Man have done a huge amount of work in terms of trying to keep that going, even through the health emergency, to allow people to come in to finish their assignments so they could get the qualifications they need. I think it's been a bruising time for our whole nation.
Yeah.
And right at the start, what I said was that I didn't want young people's futures to be another casualty of this virus, and I still stand by that. But it's an absolutely exceptional year for our entire island and the educational service.
People can resit if they want to. They've got other options, haven't they?
Exactly. I mean, we've always had the options for resits. Obviously, resitting, it sounds easy, but it's not. No. If you resit A-levels, you've effectively lost the year in terms of going in. So, but certainly for some of the GCSEs, particularly the core subjects such as maths and English language, if people, despite the regrading, haven't achieved those, what we've said right across the school system and UCM is you can go into sixth form, you can go into your course at UCM if you're able to, and you can do the resit at a later date in November, and the department will cover the cost of that.
Well, obviously loads to talk about, so we'll have a part 2 of this interview.